Hold up, everyone. This is His Majesty Nasubwata, or Pharaoh, Ra Smubafekbemi, the world's first openly African black gay king. And a king's role is to nourish and protect his people. And today I wish to do so by revealing one of the secrets of my temple, which is a revelation brought to me during a drum meditation to the archetype called Hapi, the god called Hapi, the Lord of the Nile. He's the androgynous principle behind the Nile, and he's the Lord of all gatekeepers or all gay people. And during that meditation, he revealed to me that there is a most ancient oracle from ancient Kamat that has been hiding in plain sight. It is called the Book of the Dead, the Papyrus of Ani. Hapi showed me that this book is actually a calendar oracle, and if used as such, will enlighten the one who uses it, as well as give prophecies about the nature of the various weeks throughout your year. So here we have images of the tableaus, the plates of the Ani papyrus. Okay, so here's the first plate, and we have subsequent plates. This is the Great Judgment scene here. This is the scene after the Judgment scene. So we have maybe seen these plates before. They're famous images. Okay, but I wish to show you how this text, these plates, these tableaux, are a sky oracle. So here is the equation. What you have to first look at is the location of the Earth's proximity to our local star called the Sun. The Sun is not a planet. Astrologers call the Sun a planet. It is not a planet, it is a star. And the Earth, as you see here, makes an egg-shaped oval around the Sun. It's not a circle. It's an egg called a zuchet, which means egg or zero. And throughout the year, the Earth follows this red line called the ecliptic and has these near in January and far in July points. Now, around January 3rd, every single year, it can be January 3rd, 4th, or 5th. It's a few days leeway on either side of the 3rd, and always around July 4th. Take a day before or after. The Earth in January, early January, is what's called perihelion, closest to the Sun. As you see, there's the minimal distance between the Earth and the Sun on this date. And around July, early July, we have maximal distance called aphelion, farthest away from Helios, or the Sun. And the Earth makes this egg-shaped dance with these two maximal and minimal points every year. It's a very consistent kind of rhythm within a day or two of January 3rd and July 4th. Now, what is the purpose of this? Well, what's interesting is even though the Earth is closest to the Sun, it's winter. It's January. And even though it's farthest from the Sun here in July, you think it would be colder, but it's actually summer. The temperature part of the seasons has more to do with the tilt of the Earth than the location of the Earth's distance from the Sun. This aphelion-perihelion dance is the initiation calendar. So January 3rd marks the beginning of the calendar of initiations for the Kamau. Now, the Kamau had 10-day weeks. Okay, we have here a Kamau calendar of the year. Now, the Kamau had weeks that were not 7 days long, but 10 days long. Their year was always 360 days plus 5 extra days. So it equals 365. But they would count it as 360 plus what's called a little week, a small week of only 5 days. Okay, so the Kamau had 10-day weeks. They had every month was 30 days long, not like the Western calendars of 1 month is 30, one is 29 on a leap year in February, then it's 31. It changes. The Kamau calendar, the Black people's calendar, is very stable and very regular, very solid. They were masters of time. So every month was exactly 30 days. You had the first month, 30 days. Month number 2, 30 days. Month number 3, 30 days. It never changed in more than 30, nor less than 30 days. Each month had 3 10-day weeks. 3 times 10 is 30. So the first 10 days would be week 1, the second 10 days would be week 2, and the third 10 days would be week 3. Okay, so for example, here, this figure of Mut-As, also called Isis, this marks the first week, the heliacal rising of Sirius with Ra, the sun. Okay, and this would be 10 days. This star would be dominant. You see, these are stars. We're looking at stars. You see the stars all over this imagery. And then we would proceed to the next 10-day slice here. And this is another 10-day week here. 10-day weeks. So each of these columns represent 10 days. Okay, so we go back to our perihelion. January 3rd, actually in 2020, the Earth was closest to Ra, the sun, on January 5th. On January 5th, which I express here. Okay, January 5th in 2020. Okay. So January 5th, 2020 was the first day of the initiation cycle for Kamau. Now, what do we do for each week of the year? Each of these 10-day weeks where these stars dominate, we should be doing a certain initiatic rite. What would that be? Well, that would be these plates. According to this year, where January 5th began the perihelion, we began in my court to initiate people into the first tableau, the first plate. Okay. And then the next 10-day block, which as you see here, so the first 10 days were from January 5th to January 15th. We studied that first plate. And then from January 15th to January 25th, we studied plate 2. And from January 25th to February 4th, we studied plate 3. You see? And just on Valentine's Day this year, we began plate number 4. So we go back to the plates. We just finished studying last week. It was this plate here. This is plate 3. And plate 4 begins here. These two plates, plate 4. Okay, the ceremony of the coffin, of the sarcophagus. So what we do is we time the study of the plates of the Book of the Dead according to the 10-day weeks beginning on the perihelion day is day 1. We change a plate every week or every 10-day week called a deacon. And something very strange I began to notice. I've been applying this method for about 5 or 6 years to test it to make sure it works. And every single year, with uncanny accuracy, people have found that a theme or the themes within this plate for that week or this plate for a different week dominate your life. It's as if the plates predict for 10 days the themes that will come into your life, the kind of principles that somehow congeal and precipitate in your week, in your 10-day week. This allows us to use the year the 36-week year to read our holy text of the Book of Awakening God Within, called the Book of the Dead, but it actually translates as the Book of Awakening God Within. If you call it Peret Imheru, another phrase people like to call it by, Peret Imheru means coming forth as an astrologer. Heru means an astrologer. The word Her means sky, and Heru means chief or master. So it means master of the sky. Peret means to manifest or to come forth, to emerge. So it means coming forth into the light of your chart, coming forth into astrology. So we link a chapter of our holy text with a week based upon a natural phenomenon. This is the closest natural phenomenon I could find as to why January 1st could even be called the beginning of a year. There's nothing that happens in the sky organically on January 1st. But the perihelion is January 3rd, so that might be an astronomical basis for why January 1st is the Western New Year. But it really should be based upon an actual visible or astronomical event. And we read each plate every 10 days. We discuss it. We discuss the life events for those 10 days. And shockingly, each person that talks about that week, they can relate their events to a phrase, a sentence, an image, a hieroglyph in that specific plate. It's uncanny, it's accurate, it's been working for year after year after year. So I want to give you a brief understanding of some of the scientific work we're doing to revive the gates of the Kamau. My temple is a temple of Hapi Nut Heteru, meaning Hapi is our main principle, the androgynous gatekeepers, and Nut Heteru is our astrology and beauty emphasis. We emphasize the androgynous functions of Kamat, the astrological functions of Nut, and the cultural forms, the music, arts, crafts, jewelry, wigs, etc. of Kamat. And I wish just to reveal with you and share with you how we work with memorizing and learning and working with our most holy text according to the sacred timing of the earth's nearness to the sun, the earth's closeness to light, i.e., enlightenment or light within. Dwau for listening to this brief video. And remember, no matter what happens to you in life, always look up. Why? Because you are a star. Dwau en Hotepu.